What's up, Dragon Brood? Today we want to take a look at raccoons, mostly because of Keen-Eyed Curator. With all this reanimator stuff, this is one of the best answers we can have, and raccoons already come with a lot of removals. So, let's see if any new cards made the cut, and if we can battle on the ladder. Okay, so we've got a few things going on here, but we have 4 shock because we need to be able to deal with early mono red stuff or whatever. We are going to play some Valley Might Caller. While it's not actually a raccoon, it does get raccoon benefits whenever you play them, and we have quite a few in the deck. Some Lightning Strike again for more damage, and we chose to go with the damage that goes upstairs as well for some finishing damage. We have Bramble Familiar, just a couple copies. I think though by the end of the video this is probably going to be the card we could replace of any of them, but we'll see. Keen-Eyed Curator, like we were talking about, allows you to exile cards from the graveyard. This is big because you can respond to them targeting things during their end-step. You can remove stuff. And then if you have 4 different types of cards exiled, this gets +4/+4 and trample. So it can be a good late game finisher too. Wandertail Mentor, just some mana, but if we play multiple things that use 4 mana, or just things that use 4 mana in a turn, well, if we cast some stuff, we get to make this bigger, and that's always a bonus. Scrap Shooter gives us a way to get rid of artifacts and enchantments, while also being a big body with reach, which is important. And then we have Moira, Trash Tactician. This is good for letting us gain life. Now, we don't always get the extra bonus that if we expend 8, we get to exile 2 cards, but there is a card that helps us with that, and that is Bonehorde Dracosaur. Because this gives us access to a couple extra cards, there are situations where if we can cast a couple of things off of this, we could trigger Moira and then kind of keep that whole thing going. We also have Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. This is I guess the new card that made the cut outside of lands, but it actually makes a lot of sense, right? We have 2 mana creatures, so on turn 3 we could just hit something for 4. This is a big late game card that could get us some bonuses from Moira potentially. And if nothing else, it's just another big body to make up for the rest of the raccoons being kind of small. So yeah, overall, we'll see if this kind of previous season throwback actually is good, if this carries over from Bloomborough. But at the end of the video, if you like this and you have the cards and you want to build it, don't forget there'll be a link down in the description below. Just look for the blue arrows. It'll be a Moxfield link. They are a channel sponsor. But if you go over there, you can download the list and play it in Arena yourself. And before we get to the games, let me tell you about some fun dice you may not know about. Alright y'all, I know a lot of y'all like dice, just like I do, because it's a gamer nerd thing. But I started working with Misty Mountain Gaming, and you gotta check out their stuff. They have some really cool things. Like, check out these dice that actually have, like, moving liquid inside. Like, this is actually really cool. And it doesn't affect the balance of the dice, I already checked that. And they have these other, like, metal frame dice, which are really cool, and they're solid. Like, these things aren't gonna break or bend or anything like that. They're actually really cool. Or maybe you just want something different, like these other metal dice that have these cool dragon patterns that come in different colors. Or maybe you just want something more simple and just two-tone with some cool design and style. They have that too. Honestly, they have a whole variety of stuff. You ought to check their website out. It's MistyMountainGaming.com. And until November 10th, you can use my code HalloweenDragon. You can save 10% on your order. So go check them out. You're going to find some cool dice, and then you can thank me later. All right, let's keep. See what type of trouble we can get ourselves into here. Dress, you get a shock, and you get to see all my creatures, because I have quite a few. Tiny Bones joins up. Sure, I'm going to gamble and just get rid of a land here. Probably a bad move, but whatevs. Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. I might have wanted that. Alright, we're attacking. Sure. And then now Liliana. No, a Deep Cavern Bat. I mean, I'd probably take a Keen-Eyed Curator, but we'll see. Interesting. Huh. Not 100% sure why that was the choice. Also wish Arena would have been nice enough to let us put a +1/+1 on that. Well, crap. Alright, I guess I'm just attacking. Dang it, I was hoping to protect that from -3/-3. Super unfortunate. Demolition field, you want to blow up some land? I would not be upset about that. Sure. Hostile investigator gets a land from us. Let's get creature. And then we can get sorcery. Oh, I didn't even need to get creature. I had an enchantment over here too. Well, I'll take their sorcery. Go to our yard. Get an enchantment. And then I guess I'll just attack. Oh, well, thanks, opponent. I just didn't think any way in the world that plan would work. But here we are. Like, I was just leaving as a 3/3 to see if they would block, and then they actually did, which was kind of surprising. I can't use this. Put a plus on each frog or squirrel that entered the battlefield this turn. Yeah, there isn't one, so fair enough. Want to off some of our land? Sure. Let me get colorless. We'll just go get a forest, I guess. And we'll just keep getting rid of things. All right. 17 to 15. I mean, if they don't have a removal card for Keen-Eyed Curator, this is great. Unfortunately, I can't get the ability twice. It only works once. But maybe we could find something else useful. Or not. Alright, let's at least get in for 9. Okay. This is kind of all we can do. Hoping for the best. Hoping the board doesn't get swept here. I mean, we'll be left with a 2/2 that they'll give us back. So, I mean, it's not nothing, but not great. Okay, well, Curator got it done. Oh, boy. Sure, we'll keep. Why not? We at least have one Surveil land, so if there's junk on top like that, we can get rid of it. And then we'll just see what happens. You know, I don't know if you're good here or not, but let's see. I mean, there's enough people playing 1-mana burn spells to deal with the early aggro decks, so I don't often expect a early mana creature to survive. Oh no. This is actually a real problem, believe it or not, because dinosaurs are probably really hard for us to deal with. I think I'm gonna do this. Okay, so there's a creature in an instant and a land. So I have 3 types already. I don't know how we get a 4th one into the yard. I think I'm gonna pass here. I want to remove stuff from the graveyard and try to get this to a 7/7 faster. I don't know how it's going to get there otherwise, but I don't know if 2 damage is really going to matter all that much here. Okay, a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. If their plan here is not playing anything. Oh, no. Curator's got a bullet on his head. Yep, that's bad. That's kind of one of our only plans in this matchup, I think. Oh, we drew way too many lands here. I mean, sure. Now we just go for it. I mean, I guess the other option is there is a world where we could pick up the Bramble Familiar and then maybe land a Overlord. So we may have to look at that as an option. Though if another Keen-Eyed Curator shows up, same situation. We just have instant land creature. Alright. Another Yearling. This makes me feel like their hand is all the monsters, you know? And that's real concerning. Oh, wow. Another land. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we need 7 for this, ultimately. Alright. I mean, if your hand's just all the biggins. I mean, I feel like there's like a Dracosaur or something in our future, but I don't even know if we can do anything about it. Yep, here we go. Oh, wait, we're going to the attack step? And there's nothing? This gets more and more concerning by the second. No giant growth or anything even, huh? Alright. Well, I might have been wrong. That 2 points might come into matter, unfortunately. Alright, you got 6 now. Yearling and just Yearling. Yep, those 2 points that we didn't take earlier because I was being overly strategic when I didn't have to be. Well, there's a Keen-Eyed Curator now. Alright. I don't know how we won that one, but sure. Yeah, this is one, like, you look and say, okay, you won, but realistically, the opponent had kind of an unlucky draw, if we're being honest, right? Like, if they get their Hammer Skull, the 6/6, right? If they get Bonehorde Dracosaur there, I don't know, maybe their hand was Galta's or something, but who knows? Maybe, I mean, it could be a weird build situation, but yeah. You take the win and you move on, but you don't often get those, I don't think. Not with the draw we had, drawing all that mana. We're going to keep, but this could go south pretty quickly. Alright, that helps a lot. Puts us at least on the right path to being able to cast some more stuff. Wizard. Oh, this is the Zur deck, right? I guess it's good that we have these scrap shooters. Downside is it means we're going to have to kind of just sit on the scrap shooters and not really do much with them. A little bit disappointing, but kind of is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and kill this. I don't have many targets for these on their side, and I'd rather just get rid of that outright. Pass the turn. Not often you want to kill your own thing, but in that case, that potentially becomes pretty bad for us. I guess that? I don't think they're going to be bringing stuff back from the yard, but you never know. Alright, well, I guess we'll play at least one of them. Sitting on 3 is kind of rough. Alright, Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. Oh, no, that's the other. I have the Boiler Builders. They've got Hauntwoods over there. I mean, I guess we can kill that when necessary. So no need to be in a huge hurry here. Maybe I kill it anyway here. And then just give them a card. That's probably the right thing to do. Also, it takes away the option that if there's a Zur here, that they could just make that active. Alright, GG's. Yes, we'll keep. Man, if we can get a turn 2 Overlord to kill something, or turn 3, that would be great. I think, though... Alright, we'll keep that. I was going to say, if it was a land, I was for sure going to keep it, just in case the Mentor died, but this is probably okay, too. Thunder Guilford. Feels like the name of somebody who was a race car driver. Ooh, mono green. Okay. Don't necessarily want to waste big spells, but I do get to grow our creature and start the clock ticking on the Overlord here. Though it would have been totally reasonable to just kill that and then play a scrap shooter, which probably was smarter. But we'll see. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, that was definitely smarter, actually. Because we could have attacked for more on this turn. Alright. Now we're in pretty good shape. I mean, we have all kinds of damage for removal. 2 turns away from getting this 5/5 live. I mean, I say that. Green can play some big dumb creatures, too. I mean, I'm a big fan of playing big dummies, so we'll see what happens. Hey, Throwback's going to get rid of our Duder. Fair enough. Or not. I mean, I would get rid of it. Yeah, I was going to say, like, you're just going to let us have that? I was about to be super excited. Get rid of a Frillback. And then attack for, what's that, 11? Alright. And we have 2 that can just go up, or 4 that could go upstairs if necessary. They still have a lot of cards in hand, though. There could be creatures plus removal spell. Like, lots of combinations that keep this from being over. But again, had we done it correctly, I think we would have been able to get 4 more damage in earlier with the scrap shooter, and I definitely should have done that. And I would still have an Overlord of the Hauntwoods to send upstairs, but we don't actually need that here. Opponent blocks, and then we just shoot them for the difference. Okay. That's the worst possible block. But I guess we know it doesn't matter, but that's a crazy block there. Alright, let's try it. We have to draw some good stuff after this, but this is not bad for an early going. I guess so, in case this isn't mono red, but it probably is. Well, that's a little peculiar. Sure. They're going to try to one-shot us all the way? I mean, this could be big red. I mean, we played one of those. Because, like, next turn, they just, like, Brotherhood's in. And that would be real. Or they don't. Now I'm just kind of confused. Okay, so a lightning strike. That's fair. That feels like they have a shock or something there to also kill a creature. No. I guess it was red that got all their burn spells? Like, what is this? What happened here? That's a little weird, man. I guess I feel like I want to overcommit here then? I don't really know what's happening. We'll just attack. I mean, I assume you try to pump to block. Sure. We allow it. And then if they respond, we shoot. If they respond again, we shoot again. That also pumps both of our mentors here, which is why I didn't attack with the other one. And then now if they do, and you want to kill 2 things, fine. We emptied their hand and we're left with a 3/3. Yep, that'll do it. So yeah, that was just mono red where they had burn plus a bunch of pump spells in hand. Weird. But sometimes that happens. Again, like I say against mono red, if you're patient, your goal should just be remove the first 1 or 2 creatures they play, and you're often okay after that. Ooh. Yeah, let's try it. We at least have plays for the first couple turns. Bramble Familiar. Do we want that? You know what? I might keep Bramble Familiar. Let's go ahead and do this. And then there are some scenarios where getting off this boiler bill just could be pretty good. And then we can still keep Scrap Shooter to get rid of enchantments, since obviously our opponent's playing a lot of enchantments. They're just going to Shelter by Ghost, huh? Little aggressive, but I don't hate it. That makes sense. Let's go ahead, gift them a card, and we'll get some stuff back here. I mean, we don't love them having more cards, obviously, in that build, but, you know, you do what you can do. That guy's annoying. But if they attack, I would gladly block trade here. They were not interested in our shenanigans. Okay. So, what are we looking to do here? We can kill this with a Scrap Shooter at any point in the future. So, let's go ahead and do this. Get rid of that being the real problem here. Think I'm willing to attack, because we can't block the 1/1 that's a nuisance anyway, and I don't really care about taking that other 2. Currently just a creature and enchantment in the yard. They might only have creatures and enchantments and lands, so we may have to get the other cards in the yard ourselves. Alright, let's see what they decide to do. Can't imagine they're not going to play anything. Alright, another creeper. And another creeper. That's all kinds of bad news for us, huh? Can't be blocked, but they can block themselves. Alright, let's try this. I mean, I'm probably going to get punished for not getting rid of this sooner, because now they can protect it, but we know the drill. Yep, I assumed as much. Still going to attack with this. I mean, might as well. One of those cases where you don't love it, but you do what you got to do. We might just be too slow to fight this. Behind on cards. I mean, that being said, we kind of have a small army of 4/4s. It's like, it's not the worst thing yet. Though in hindsight, I probably should have targeted one of the creepers first to see if they protect it, and then target the Glimmer. Would have probably been the right follow-up. I think I targeted their creatures in the wrong orders with my Scrap Shooters. And rightfully so, I'm going to be punished for it now. Unless I magically find some removal for these creepers. Alright. You own a bunch of glimmers. At least now I can block those. I mean, it does make everything super cheap, but at least have a few more options available now. Alright, that's an 8. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about that. Alright, pass the turn. So here, there is somewhat of a scenario we could get away with here. Where we'll have a bunch of mana from Moira. So we could return the familiar, then use it to try to find something. But at this point, we'd just be looking for the last scrap shooter to try to kill this big Enduring Innocence, probably. And I imagine they have a protective spell by now. Curiosity, sure. That'd definitely be at least one more card for them. Because blocking is not beneficial for us here. And you're not going to attack with the 10 power thing? I mean, I guess you're at 15. If you just want to block, you still get the 10 life. That's fair, I guess. But we definitely need some help. Yeah, I think that's going to just have to be our plan with the familiar here. Yep. Alright. Not a lot we can do here. Surprisingly, we did exhaust a lot of their cards, which I didn't even think that was going to be a possibility. Like, it's a creature and an enchantment. Oh, boy. Let's get... I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, we have a lightning strike available. Does that do anything productive? Kind of. Alright, let's discard this. And then let's go for it. Oh, no! That was the worst case scenario. I mean, we get these till the end of the next turn. Like, that's something. Rough. I mean, here's the other thing, too. We are encroaching on the point where we can produce enough mana to keep doing the Bramble Familiar thing for a couple of turns, and we have 38 life. But at some point, once the opponent starts attacking, we're just going to be too far behind. Like, realistically, they just need to be attacking with the 10 power first striker here. Because either I lose a creature, or I take 10, go to 7, and then I'm risking dying the following turn. And they're going to get at least 2 cards off of it. Like, there's a lot of positives to go the way that they can go. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think we just chump block, but we're effectively dead. I mean, we're not really doing much here. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna scoop this one. Like, we're too far behind now. Like, even if we got the cards we needed, they're not enough. That's just a bad match for us. Let's keep this one. I mean, it's a lot of mana, so we do have to draw some actual threats. But we could definitely have done worse. Let's just get rid of that. I don't know if that's going to be any good, but it's not bad. Maybe they'll just bat here and we can kill a bat. Hey, alright. That was about as good as we could have hoped for, right? And then I guess we play Curator here. Hope it don't die, because I'm sure it's going to. Yep, there's a Liliana.
Enough with the mysteries. I've come for answers.
Now this puts me in an interesting spot on what to do here, right? Like, I don't even think I want to necessarily kill Liliana. I think I'm going to do this. And if they make us each discard, this isn't terrible. They know we have a shock already. Hopeless Nightmare, sure. I'm gonna get rid of this. Probably should have held the land. I actually probably should have held the scrap, or discarded the scrap shooter and held the land. But if they minus Liliana, we're in good shape. Alright, cool. They don't even want to minus Liliana here. So that works out in our favor anyway. Though probably all the more reason we still would have been better off having the land. Especially if we draw like Overlord of the Boiler Bilges or something here. Like that's gonna suck. Oh, they left them both on top? Oh, that's brutal. That's rarely good when your opponent leaves both cards up top. Alright.
Don't overthink.
Oh, it was a cut down. Yeah, they weren't going to be able to use that anyway. Alright, well, start by attacking Lily. Who knows? Maybe the top card's just another Liliana. I could see that being a thing. Alright, see what we can do. They also might have just found, like, what's the guy? The 4/3 that makes you discard. Thinking our hand might have been slower with the unknown card, which is a real thing. No, they're going digging anyway. Okay, so this is interesting. They scryed left both things on top, but then they drew one of them already, and it wasn't what they wanted. So now they're scrying again, leaving two things on top, which is crazy. But alright. Maybe the end result is they need us to have something to discard, and we don't. You ain't the best fighter here, buddy, but you know what? You're checking a box, so let's go. You're a raccoon. Get that bonus. Alright, bonus at 1. Getting rewarded for holding on to that scrap shooter. Yeah, I don't know what... I mean, if it's not a sweeper, I don't know what else those two cards could be here. And even then, we just have to draw any of our raccoons and give them haste. Alright, Gix's command. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Man, I'm really curious. Like, that was an odd sequence to scry, then draw, then scry. And then... I guess maybe the top card could have been... Well, no, but they only had 4 lands at the time. They had to get their 5th land. So, yeah, I don't even know. It's so weird. I don't know what happened there. But, you know, I've made all kinds of weird plays that didn't work out, too. So, who knows? Interesting. Let's keep this one. Now... This is going to be tough, because obviously we're going to want to respond and kill things that we can. We're just going to kind of have to hope they don't have another creature in hand here. And if they do and we're not dead, maybe we could Scrap Shooter to kill the Leyline, but they had another creature, so that's bad news for us. But there's a lot of ways this goes. So, yeah, obviously no block. At least one of those is a pump spell, so let them fire that off. And whatever they get, they'll be out of mana. Oh, really? They didn't pump there. What? So you didn't play another creature and you didn't pump a thing. Alright, then sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to get rid of the Leyline here, but for all I know, maybe part of their hand is another Leyline. They'll pump this just so they can manifest, most likely. Oh, they didn't have that. Wow. Okay. Well, we definitely could have done a lot worse here. With the way the hand opened up. Slick shot, sure. Obviously, we'd love to kill a slick shot here. Alright, those go off. That's actually not as bad as that could have been, realistically. Because now their hand's empty. Ooh, Morera, you are so close to being right. So now I kind of have to take a gamble on if it's worth it to... No. Huh. I mean, because if I kill this, then I can't... Yeah, I guess I just have to kill the... Dude, I wish that would have been an untapped land. If it would have, I think it would have changed this game immensely. We need to hope they just draw a land here or something. Anything else, we're probably dead. It actually could be a creature and we're not dead. But if it's a spell... Okay, it's not a spell. We're at 5. Ooh, okay. Okay. Still didn't get a land, though. Needed an untapped land there. Would have been great. But at least here, we can do this. And this, so we gain 3. And then no attacks. Alright, Cacophony Scamp could be bad news. But we did gain some extra life. Alright, cool. That's what we wanted to see. Oh, and an Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. Wait a minute. Okay, this is big. This is real big. We're going to be able to get 3 mana? No, 2 extra mana. So I'm going to have 6 for the turns. Let's get 1 green, 1 red. Alright, and we're going to get a 5/5 back. I think our plan here, as much as it is cool to play the Boiler Bilges, I think we kill this and just play another 4/4. And then try to start attacking. Right? I think that's what we do. Just kill that. And then we just play this. Gain another 3. Go ahead and get in with this, dude. Like, if they block, they block. We don't care. Get a 5/5 back. Alright. Now, even if they have something crazy, we can just throw tons of things in the way and not care here. And if we get even one reasonable spell, which we didn't, I was going to say, we'd have all kinds of mana here. But let's go green, green, red, red. And then next turn, we just start doing stuff with Bramble Familiar. So yeah, that was going to be it. Well, this is a little bit weird, because I tested this on the play queue. And it was great on the play queue, by the way. So if you do a lot of play queue games, this is a deck for you. and this is actually still playable on the ladder, so I'm not going to knock it. But there are a couple of matchups, like it's playable against the popular decks where you have things like Scrap Shooter that can get rid of enchantments, right? You have a lot of removal for the early aggro type decks, but then if you run into like weird quirky decks, like other dinosaurs or whatever, like those matchups are actually kind of difficult. So I don't know what that means for this. Maybe we get away with like one less Mara. I think that's possible. Yeah, I'm a little torn on the Bramble Familiar because it mostly was useful, right? We used it later in the game to try to find some stuff. Like it being a cheap raccoon also matters at times, so I don't hate it. But at the same time, I feel like the deck would still be more benefited by a couple of other upper end things, right? Something to spend this mana on from Moira. And I think Bonehorde Dracosaur might be the answer, and we might just need to play 2 more of those. Because really, I mean, the deck has a fair amount of 2-drops already. I mean, it has 14. Now, granted, 4 of those are lightning strikes, so you could say 10. Even if we move it down to 8, that's still a lot of stuff to play on turn 2, which is fine. I don't think that's terrible. Ugh, man. Maybe I split the difference, keep 1 Bramble Familiar, play 1 more Bonehorde Dracosaur in the short term and see how we feel about it. And then if you decide to play it and you just need more late game stuff, then Dracosaur is your answer. What I like about Dracosaur, though, is right, it first strikes, even against some of the like longer game, small creature get pump stuff. It works great against pretty much all the other flyers, if you're talking about playing against like bats or something like that. And then obviously just the cards it gives you is just so good. So, and I will say this too, if you get into a situation with Moira and a Bonehorde Dracosaur, you can sometimes just start a chain of cards. Because then like Moira exiles 2 that you have access to next turn, Bonehorde exiles 2 that you have that turn, and now you're just like rolling cards over and over. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think the surprising thing is that this was still playable. Like, it still hung with everything. I do feel like it could probably use 1 more of something. I don't know what that thing would be just yet. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe something like Pick Your Poison? I mean, if we want to go there. It's not like it's a bad card. I mean, it sacrifice an artifact, an enchantment, or a creature with flying. Downside is the opponent doesn't always have that type of option, so, or they have multiple things and you don't get the thing you want, so that's tough. Another idea too that I would say consider, if you want to play 1 less Dracosaur and 1 less Bramble Familiar, if you want to get a little quirky, we could go Urbrass Forge. And I think a couple of these also work, so if you're worried about playing against sweepers or other things like that, like, this is totally reasonable, and I don't think this is a bad option either. It doesn't really mess with the curve of the deck too much. Like I said, you still have a bunch of stuff to play on 1, on 2, and then a couple of things on 3, whether you play Scrap Shooter Moira or the Urbrass Forge. You could even cut 1 Moira if you don't own these already to play an additional Urbrass Forge, and I think that is a reasonable option. Now, that doesn't help you toward, like, contributing to having more actual raccoons, but that still leaves you 4, 8, 12, 16 raccoons in the deck, which still makes playing Valley Might Caller worth it. But it's a thought. I don't know. I think I'm still okay with some combination of a Bonehorde Dracosaur. And you know what? I'm just going to play, man, maybe, I don't know, maybe we do want Forges in here. Now that I said it, it might be the better option. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know which way I want to go with this. I think I'm just going to stick with the Dracosaur and the 1 Bramble Familiar. I think that's what I'm going to do for the final list, but if you do want to play the Forge, I think you can make a reasonable argument for that, and I don't think it would be a bad thing to do. But the deck we're going to end up posting is going to be 4 Shock, 4 Valley Might Caller, 4 Lightning Strike, 1 Bramble Familiar, 4 Keen-Eyed Curator, 4 Wandertail Mentor, 4 Scrap Shooter, 4 Moira Trash Tactician, 3 Bonehorde Dracosaur, 4 Overlord of the Boiler Bilges, 2 Mountain, 1 Rock Face Village, I should say, 3 Forest, 1 Oak Hollow Village, 2 Commercial District, 4 Copperline Gorge, 4 Carplusion Forest, 3 Restless Ridgeline, 3 Thornspire Verge, and 1 Draneth Ruins. This is good because if you have extra mana later in the game, then everything is basically getting +2/+2, so figured I'd just play one in here and toss it in. I will say though, if you're looking for a deck that did just walk over every single thing we played, went undefeated, just this mono white deck with this Ghostly Dancers was super good. I don't even understand it, but you should check it out and see it for yourself. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.